Welcome to a new session. This session is about measurement and instruments. We are frequently using the term measurement. What is actually measurement? Measurement is a method to obtain information about the physical quantity of a variable. That is, measurement is an act of comparison between the quantity whose magnitude is unknown and a predefined standard. That means we measuring the length of a material as 10. That is, it is actually 10 meter. So always measurements are expressed in numerical values. In an industry, the major purpose of measurements are to improve the quality of the product and to improve the efficiency of the production and to maintain the proper operation. So measurement is the method to obtain the information about a physical quantity of a variable. Then before moving to purpose of measurement, we have to know the term instrument. What is instrument? Instrument is a tool for measurement, or we can define an instrument as it is a measuring device which measures a physical quantity. So instrument measures a particular physical quantity. This is a schematic representation of a measurement system or an instrument. Instrument gets an input from a particular process. From that process, we have to measure a physical quantity. The input obtained to the instrument or measuring system is converted to output, that is a measured value, or an operator can observe this output. This is the purpose of a measurement system, or this is how an instrument works. Then we are moving to units of measurement system. A unit of a measurement is a definite magnitude of physical quantity. It is defined and adopted by convention or by law, and it is used as standard for measuring the same physical quantity. For an example, meter is the unit of length that represents a definite predetermined length. If we measure a material as 10 meter or a material of 10 meter long means that is 10 times the definite predetermined length called meter, that is a unit of length meter. So we can say 10 meter, we can measure as 9 meter. That means any value or any other value of the same physical quantity can be expressed as a simple multiple of the unit of measurement. That is, if meter is the unit of length, we can measure anything as a multiple of meter. So that is, we can say 2 meter length, 3 meter length, or 1.5 meter length. So units are a definite magnitude of physical quantity which is already defined, or it is predefined and adopted by convention or by law. There are 7 basic SI units adopted by the International System of Units. In its modern revision of metric system, these are the 7 basic units: kilogram, meter, seconds, ampere, Kelvin, mole, and candela. These are the 7 basic units adopted by the International System of Units. These are the different physical quantity we are measuring using these units. The unit of length is actually meter. Meter is a predetermined length. Then time is expressed in seconds. Amount of substance is expressed in moles. The electric current unit is ampere. Temperature is measured in Kelvin. Luminous intensity is expressed as candela, and mass expressed as kilogram. These are the 7 basic SI units adopted. Then we are moving to classification of instruments. Instrument is a measuring device which is used to measure a particular physical quantity. Instruments are classified into different category. Now we are discussing only three types of classification. The first classification is manual instruments and automatic instruments, then self-operated and power-operated instruments. Then the third one is analog and digital instruments. We are going to discuss all these classification in detail. There are different types of classification. We are discussing only these three types of classification. So first we are discussing the power operated and self operated instrument. Power operated instruments are also called passive instruments. From the term it is clear that type of instrument require power, that means it requires an external or auxiliary power source for their operation. If an instrument requires some electricity, it belongs to this power operated instrument. So the physical quantity being measured using a power operated instrument simply modulates the magnitude of some external power source. In other words, we can say that power operated instruments always requires a external power supply for its operation. The external power supply can be electricity, compressed air, etc. That is, the input signal supplies only the insignificant portion of the output power. That is all about power operated instrument. That is, power operated instrument requires an additional or external power supply for its operation. The example for this system are electromechanical measuring system. That is a mechanical device which is worked only on electric power. That is electromechanical measurement system all belongs to this power operated instruments. Most of the instruments we are using nowadays are belongs to power operated category. The next type is self operated. These are called active instruments. From the term it is clear that self operated instrument does not require an additional power supply or external power supply for its operation. It can perform its function itself without any additional power support. Here, the output energy is supplied by the input signal. Input signal is completely converted to output energy by the instrument itself. That is the self-operated instrument. For example, the mercury in glass type thermometer, there is no power supply. It used to measure the temperature. Then another example is float type petrol tank. This is also a self-operated instrument which is used to measure the level of fluids. A float type instrument. These all are belongs to self-operator. It does not require an additional power supply. That is the first category, self-operated and power-operated instrument. Power-operated instrument requires an additional power supply, where self-operated instrument does not require any power supply. Then the another classification is analog instrument and digital instrument. Analog instrument is an instrument which gives an output that varies continuously as the quantity being measured. That is, in this type of instrument, the measured quantity is or output is always indicated by the position of a pointer which is moving over a graduated scale. Here the output can be infinite number of value that the instrument is designed to measure. It can produce infinite number of values. As the input value changes, the pointer moving towards the scale which represent the corresponding output. That means pointer can move to infinite number of position within the range of that instrument, or the instrument is designed to measure. A deflection type pressure gauge is belongs to analog instrument. So analog instrument gives an output that varies continuously with the quantity being measured. You can clear by seeing this picture. This is an example for analog instrument. If we measuring a particular quantity, the pointer shows a change in this graduated scale. If we scale is here, it measures as 200. If the input is changes, then there is a change in this pointer scale. This type of instruments are called analog instrument. Here, instrument gives an output that varies continuously as the quantity being measured changes. That is analog instrument. Then we are moving to digital instrument. Digital instrument has an output that varies in discrete step and only have a finite number of values. The analog instruments have infinite number of values within the range of that instrument. Here there is a finite number of values. An example is revolution counter. Revolution counter is an example for digital instrument. And nowadays we are using instruments of this category. We are using the most of the instruments we are using the digital type instrument. These are an example for digital type instrument. So this is all about analog and digital instruments. Then we are moving to next classification, automatic and manual instruments. Manual instrument requires a operator for measuring a physical quantity. There is always required a service person for operating that particular instrument. We have to make certain arrangements, or we have to some adjustment for measuring that instrument. But in the case of automatic instrument, there is no need of an operator, there is no need of an adjustment for the measurement of a physical quantity. For example, temperature measurement by mercury thermometer is automatic type because the instrument measures the temperature without any manual assistance or any adjustment. So this type of thermometer belongs to automatic type. Then the measurement of temperature by the resistant thermometer is a manual type instrument because there is a requirement of an operator, or there is some adjustment for the measurement of temperature using resistant thermometer. We have to get the null position, we have to take we have to make some adjustment for that measurement. So thermometer, that is mercury glass in thermometer, is an automatic instrument. The resistance thermometer is an manual instrument. We are always preferring the automatic type of instruments because of their fast dynamic response and low operation cost. So automatic instrument does not require an operator. Manual instrument requires an operator for performing its function. So there are three types of instruments, or three types of classifications are discussed here: automatic and manual instrument, digital and analog instrument, self-operated and power-operated instruments. As we already said, there are different types of classification. We are only discussing these three types of classification.